pros on this.
Hey, recording in progress. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to weekly NGS meeting. NGS stands for Next Generation Shell. Here's Ricardo, a contributor to the project. I'm Ilya, the author of the project. So NGS meetings are about recent progress and near future plans, sometimes far future plans. Okay, I think Ricardo, you go first because I have a bunch of shit that I want to tell.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, it's not necessarily much progress, but it's many things that I would like to say.
Okay. So yeah, so we need to close up the website stuff. So you need to
Correct.
figure out some time for giving
Yes.
me input and closing this pull request.
We'll get there.
Either way, it's better to have a website that is half done than to have no website. So I guess it's positive.
Well, it depends how much half done and how this half looks like.
Yeah, it looks awesome. It looks awesome. Always looks awesome. So the other thing I managed to get some time to work on this week was about the man not working on macOS. So I traced it down to the point that apparently the place where the man is being stored is not the default place on macOS for reading the mans. So
yeah,
currently,
I think I've seen this diff, and I was wondering. So I've seen there's an if it's Mac OS or Linux.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if there was maybe some variable in CMake, because
there is a file.
Might know.
There is a file.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there is a file. I looked at the file. I'm not sure if there is a variable. I couldn't find it, so I was searching for that. That was my first idea also. I tried to search for it and I couldn't find, any decent way of that. Also, I don't have a lot of experience on CMake, so that also may be
I
the problem.
think it's good for your mental health. That
yes.
Don't.
So what I did is I looked at where this thing is stored on Mac. There is, a file, and I looked inside the file and I realized, right, that currently we are putting the things in user local man, and apparently Mac reads it from user local share man.
You know why.
Yeah. So now so I did the fix. It's just an if, so it's fine. So what I was actually now thinking about is that I should probably do a unit test about that, because I was asking you to test on your Linux and on your Mac to be sure it was working fine. But I could actually also do a test for this to see if the command would return okay, or fail.
Nice.
The man command.
Yes, that's the way to go.
Yeah, and because our
we have
GitHub,
all these builds, right?
Exactly. Our GitHub runs everywhere. There could still be issues, right? Because maybe the Dockers, read it from different place. I don't know. I hope not.
Yeah, look into this.
But I guess we would feel a bit better, right, if this was unit tested. So
yes, I would feel actually much better.
Yeah. So that's my. I just thought about this, 5 minutes ago.
Yes.
Yeah. So I thought I will add that there. But at least the man on my computer now works on the Mac, so I guess that's the way to go.
Is it really helpful? The man?
Well, at least I can access it,
Well, so yeah, feel free to open issues if something is missing from man, which you would expect to be there.
Yeah, so that's the only time I had to do something, but I should start picking some of these tasks because we are getting with 259 issues. We need to start cleaning up this thing. No, we need to start cleaning up this thing. We need to enter in to enter in a week or month that we just do NGS night to day to night. Clean up all of this.
I don't know how you see that in our schedule of our free time.
It's always a question of management, right?
Of priorities, yeah.
Priorities, yeah. Let's see if we get time for that, but that would be nice. So my input here is that we should start cleaning more and more of these tasks, and
we should. On the other hand,
on
if I'm working on something, I'm trying to focus on it. So if I see like a side issue, I'll just file a bug and I'll continue.
That's totally fine. But what I'm saying is that
grow.
we probably should start by the smaller issues, so that we can clean the number, let's say, and leave the bigger issues for the end. Because yeah,
Mhm.
at least then it will be easier for us to manage them because
Yeah,
they would be smaller.
I do that sometimes, probably not enough. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So anything else from your side?
No, that was it.
Okay. So yeah, I've seen you had comments on issues and stuff like that. Yeah, I didn't get to any of that yet, but I made progress on other things. So let's get to that. Okay, so for the first point, I by the way prepared notes, so I will not miss stuff. So if I miss stuff, it happened already because it's not in the notes. Okay. Yeah, so I would like to share my window and go over recent issues that I opened just for fun while I was working on the AWS Lambda. But hold.
You see, that's why we should clean up all the issues so that we have small enough issues that we can talk on the meeting. Like, oh, we have these 5 issues, big ones, right?
Never gonna happen.
Never, ever.
Never gonna happen. I can tell you this. Okay, so first, which was actually last, but actually it's first. So here is the issue. I've seen some code which you might find somewhat familiar, where status
Axios.
is
Axios,
yeah. Okay, so this, and I was thinking maybe make a pattern like this, but 5 minutes ago, I concluded that existing facilities in the language would be good enough. Status in 2, 2, 3, and that is
nice. Yeah, that's
nope.
part of the language already.
Please use this. Yeah, it's part of the language already. It's standard.
Very good.
Yeah, so it's a range. 2 dots, that's excluding the 300.
Can
3
you do
dots would be
something?
including.
Yeah, can you do something?
Yeah.
Copy paste that and put on the snippets on the Discord. Instead of this, we have this like one-liners channel.
Yeah.
Copy
What
paste
this
it there.
example? Status in.
Yes. Yeah. Instead of just put the instead of that. Normally in a language you would do it like this, on NGS you can do it like this. Yeah.
Yeah. Please do the comment. I'll just paste it.
No, just okay. But you have the code there. Yeah, but okay.
I have the code. Okay, hold.
Instead of that, yeah.
Inspired by.
But you have to reply. You have to reply to the other one. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Or put it before. Just edit. Yeah.
Edit.
Put it before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some other language. Okay.
In NGS, yeah. In NGS, you can do it by
No, just
great.
with NGS.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah. This way, we start to get to collect this, right?
Well,
awesome.
We need to do some rules. Well, what's what makes there and what doesn't meet the criteria. Okay.
Everything makes there.
Okay. Probably not. Okay, so we can close this one. So now we have one issue less. Okay, so other issues. So TR, the new facilities that I added, unfortunately, I have forgotten to add it in the script which makes the documentation. And why did it miss it? Because it's a standalone file. Like it's not. Documentation doesn't see it because it's not loaded. You need to load it like other modules. And I'm thinking maybe doing something generic, but right now it's just an open issue. Okay, as you rightfully mentioned, we need to set up email. That would be probably me and not we, but we need to set up email for the NGS lang. Okay, I also see that there are missing documentation for all off methods. As a reminder, all off is represents a pattern where all of the sub patterns need to match for the overall match. Same for any off, but it's any of the patterns should match. Maybe we could give an example. Any off. Let's I'll share the terminal maybe later. I'll take a note and maybe later when I share the
just put in the one-liner once you do the documentation for that, just or put it on the channel, we add the documentation for that.
Let me think about this. Okay, so JSON parse succeed when a number is followed by anything. So this one is pretty bad. Okay, you make a less, yeah, and the first file is one HTML. And NGS tries to parse stuff and also JSON. Okay, and the C library, which I use for JSON decode, it doesn't matter for that C library that it parsed only like some of the text. I guess it's by design, by the way. So in this situation, it parses one dot, understand it's a real number, and returns real number 1.0. While the rest, weird. Yeah, it looks completely weird when you see that. So you do backtick ls and you get real 1.0 and it was like one HTML. It's completely bizarre shit. Okay, but it looks like it will be pretty work some work to do to fix that. So I left it for now, but it would be like one of the acute shit that needs to be fixed. Okay, that was some time ago. It was not. Okay, so we are done with the last week regarding the bugs. Next thing, okay. Of the closed issues, I closed. I don't see it here for the moment.
Question: how do you mark the issues that are already having a pull request, or in progress?
Have pull request? No, there. Whatever. If I commit the fix into dev, I close the issue because I don't want it to be open until like 2 months or whatever we release.
It's pull request. It's pull request to dev. So I guess
pull request to dev. Well, what's not in the dev, it's not marked as fixed.
So I put in progress so that we know it's someone is doing it. Okay.
You can create a new tag that pull request or PR. PR exists, or some. I think it's in another projects. PR exists.
Okay, but you have in progress is good enough.
Just also good. Yeah.
Progress, yeah. Oh, you
wait,
need to clean up the source.
Like? Yeah. Okay. Never mind. Yeah.
There is an important thing for you, and this is only you who can do it. So if you scroll down, and this should have been done, by the way, before you released last time.
Yeah.
But I guess it enters on the next one.
Closed or in open?
It's open. It's clean up NGS source.
Yeah, I actually don't think it's high priority, by the way.
We should, it's very hard to navigate, because we have so many things that we don't know what they are, like.
Well, Debian supposed to be in the project. That's for the Debian packages. Small POC can be moved actually. I think build scripts. Well, build scripts are build scripts. It's part of the project. Helper scripts. Yeah, I need to look into this. I agree that it needs to be done. I don't think it's high priority.
Yeah. No, just it should look nice, right? The source so that people can navigate on it.
I think that most people wouldn't care that much. From several
yeah, but reasons. You have the issue. Okay, so but you have the issue open. Okay. So
yeah, let's not get that. Okay, so I can't find it, but I fixed the code. I think Ricardo, yeah, this one 4 days ago. I didn't see it in the closed one. So okay, so if you remember, we seen that that strings starting with y were parsed as boolean yes, boolean true.
Yes.
Well, guess what? There was a regular expression, and the closing bracket was in the wrong place. It should be in the end, and it was like somewhere in the beginning. So anyhow, this is now fixed.
Of course.
And it's not like that you type yx and it will fail. Now it will fail. It will not parse it as boolean true.
Good.
Okay, so that one is fixed. Okay, on dev branch, I organized the readme.
Nice.
So it previously had 2 different sections of links.
Oh, nice, yeah.
One here and one quick links. So I merged all of that, and we have one big section of links.
Good.
Maybe we can subdivide it into more categories.
Yeah, so last time I did the installing, which is already in master, I saw.
Yeah, it's here.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So next thing. Okay, so next big thing, I started working on the AWS Lambda custom runtime. Okay, it's a separate project. Okay.
Different project.
Yeah, as you like. Okay, so it will be some work here. So because I wanted to be okay. So there are two options as far as I understood. By the way, my understanding there is not 100% yet. You can do a layer, or you can do a custom runtime, like completely like new container or stuff like that.
Yes.
I'm going with custom layer because I want to make possible to use NGS as like additional language in the container.
Yeah, makes sense.
By the way, I don't really understand how to do that, because if you make a layer which contains a runtime, you need to provide the /bootstrap file. Okay, if you just want to use the language, I guess that bootstrap will actually shadow the original bootstrap file, and don't know how that's supposed to work, but I'll just continue reading and then find out.
But layer is the way. Yeah, I looked into that also in the past, and
Yeah,
layer looks good because
okay.
because then they maintain the bottom systems, right? It's not up to you, to maintain
the
container images.
Yeah, the shitty part of the bottom system is it actually Red Hat based, which will
yeah, apt-get doesn't exist.
Yeah, so there's no apt, you have yum, but on the other hand, if you solve that, we also solve running NGS in Cloud Shell.
Oh,
because they use the same Red Hat based shit.
For that. There was an issue for that, right?
Yeah, I know, but now apparently it's a blocking for this one.
But where was the issue? Do you remember? Because I saw it, but then I lost it completely.
I think it was Cloud Shell or AWS. Let's see that for a moment. AWS, no. Cloud Shell, nope. Closed, no.
Consider, I see. Consider AWS Cloud Shell installation.
Cloud Shell, is it like together? Yeah. So now it's probably a blocker for the
good.
So it's time to fix it. So, yeah, Red Hat time has come.
no.
By the way, so I started looking at this, and guess what? There is a problem, and and the problem. Okay, so I started. Okay, by the way, Bootstrap. Okay, I took the one that they had for Bash, and I just rewrote it in NGS. Well, guess what? In NGS, it's looking much fucking better. But there are a few things here. Okay, so let's start with all the problems. I didn't find peg, which is a build time dependency. Yeah. It's a small library from 2016, last update 2016. They don't have it. I don't know. And also pandoc I didn't find. Maybe we can do without pandoc, because pandoc was supposed to be for man, and maybe we can like give that up.
But are we using pandoc? Because I didn't saw it in the man script.
We use it to build man. I don't know if,
because I looked at, because I recently
okay, I can tell you that the source of man pages is markdown, because it was like too shitty of a syntax to work with. So I did man, and by the way, it's the sources in markdown, and the output is not only man, but also the HTML pages for the documents site.
Yeah, I know. That part is cool.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just seeing, if we actually import pandoc on the, because I didn't saw the import there. That's why I was asking.
Import?
Maybe I missed it.
Which
on
import?
On CMake library, on the CMake list.
It's not a library. It's a binary. It's a program, external program that's being used.
But in general, you include it on the CMake list, right? Include pandoc or something. No? Okay.
No, I think not.
Let's see. Pandoc.
Yeah, okay, just grab pandoc. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we have on the install remote control. Well, we do have it on the build dependencies.
Doesn't matter. It's in use. Okay. Trust me.
But are we sure we still use it? I guess so, right? I see it. Yeah, we do use it. Make NGS.
Yeah, we use it. Yeah, I told you. Okay. So take a look at this thingy. Okay. So your past environment variable, the underscore handler. So okay, how all this shit works? When your runtime starts, when your Lambda starts, it looks for the bootstrap file and runs that. That's it. Other than that, you have APIs that you need to call. Okay, and the most important API is on this line. That's the invocation next. So when you call this API, you're blocked until there is incoming request.
Okay.
Okay, so okay, now let's look for a moment what is happening. So this environment underscore handler, that's how you pass the file name and the function name to run. Okay, so here's this part which deals with that, and I don't like it a lot. This inability to assign to two variables at once. And I was thinking about this, how to do that, and the problem is that when I think about this, it's just too much to think about, because
why don't you do it like JavaScript does it? You just do an array with the variables.
Guess what? I was thinking about that, and I'm not sure I completely like it, and I'm not sure that it's the most appropriate way for NGS to implement that. So I already had some failures copying from other languages. So here are my thoughts. Okay, if you put like array on the left side, it can start like getting messy. Okay, because then you add like ... to capture like arbitrary number of elements, right? Like
no,
like
you
star
don't allow that. No, you don't allow that.
Why not?
Because not. So
why not? What do you allow?
You just strict that thing, right? So the output of
only
that has to
names.
match. Yeah, the only variable names, and the output has to match the amount of variable names that you have on the left side. If not, you break.
Yeah, what if you're interested just in two first element and other elements do not matter?
Future, you think about that.
I know, I want to think about this now because maybe it's not the appropriate way to go about this.
I see.
Maybe it will be like garbage syntax, which is not.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there were several thoughts, and I kind of were thinking about something like that. Well, here it's a comment, right? But maybe in NGS, the appropriate way would be to have some operator, and to the right of that operator, anonymous function.
Okay.
Yes, something like that. Yeah. But there's just too many nuances, so I meanwhile didn't do anything about this.
But then how would you pick? So how would you pick the names out of the function to the rest of the environment?
Here.
Yes, this is anonymous.
The function will have them inside the function. You'll have them. So
yes, but you want to use them outside, right?
Well, maybe not. No, I mean, well, you had okay. If you just zoom out a bit, okay. So this destructuring assignment is actually a specific case of pattern matching. And in other places, when you have pattern matching, you have your pattern, and then you have some piece of code which uses the matches. And after that, you don't have them. And it's quite okay in some places. And I was thinking, if it's a function, maybe there should be some syntax, like in general, to have a function which doesn't have opening and closing curly braces, but actually takes the whole block from the function and down. So you'll not have nesting.
It's just weird, because the problem of bringing a function there, right, is that then you should keep the context of a function. If not, you are implementing a completely new concept that doesn't match, what a function should be.
Why? What? Why?
So if you have this function that doesn't have curly braces, right, and picks everything else, then you are basically, let's say, killing the concept of a function, right? Because the concept of a function means you should have the context right there. So the function
it will behave exactly like any other function, which was called immediately. And it's just a syntactic sugar.
But sounds like a hack, sounds like a hack. You are using a function to then expand it. It would be better to assume that you have a special syntax for that, right?
I don't know. I think that like composing the existing concepts, because if it's like this function like that, you don't need any new. Let's say it was with curly braces. Okay, so you will have just nest label for everything in here in this file. Yeah, which is also not that bad. But then you don't even have to have new syntax. You can add dot I don't know, call with or whatever, and you pass this function as a callback, and that's it. You don't need syntax at all. And I like not having syntax at all. Or maybe just use some existing operator here.
Yeah. an operator maybe, but
And
then
that's
it's
it.
the same. It's the same as having it on the left and on the right.
What do you mean?
But you really want to use the function then. That's what you say.
I'm thinking about this. I'm not 100% sure. Right now, I think that all the solutions that I have, they are not good solutions. And that's why it takes so long, because I don't think like, not any one of them feels like 100% correct.
Well, the one from JavaScript, I like it because, it's just on the left side, you just do an array, right?
Yes,
Of
so
variables.
having that on the left side is convenient because you know where the variables are assigned. Yes, I agree with that.
Yes. And maybe the only thing it misses is this thing to ignore the rest. Maybe you could have, dot dot instead of a variable name, you would just have dot dot that just ignores the rest.
You see,
and if you
and
don't have
you
that,
start adding, you start expanding on that. So
yeah, I
that's
know.
that's the
If you
tricky
want,
part.
right? If you want, you can
I
also
don't know.
just say that it has to have the right amount of
Okay,
of
you know
variables,
what?
and that's it.
It becomes a long discussion, so maybe we can do it another time.
Yes.
Maybe even after this, I don't know. Let's see when we do it. Okay, so to the fun part. Okay, so line 24 here. Okay, there's curl. Okay, and
curl.
dash I on the curl. So dash I on the curl, that means also return headers. So now you have this headers, empty line, and the body. Okay, so what I thought would be cool and useful for other use cases is to have backtick understand this and therefore parse the answer into headers and body.
Oh, nice.
Which I did, and now, so you can see this later in this event.
I see.
Event headers.
Nice.
Okay, and there is also dot body. Body. By the way, the body itself is JSON, so you have the code JSON here. I considered making this decode to go to also descend into body and decode that.
Automatic,
and
right?
Yeah, and I decided against because it's coupling two like separate things, and body doesn't have to be decodable anything. It could be arbitrary string. So didn't do that.
Well, for going to decode on the body, right, you would have to check if the type of return would be JSON. Then you could decode automatically. Otherwise, you shouldn't.
That is interesting idea. I don't know if I want to like go that deep. That's something to think about. I'll write this down.
Yeah, so you could see right by the header that returns, right? It tells you the type, and if it was application, I think it's application
yeah, but
JSON.
The thing is that sometimes you don't have it, and if you have this like
if you don't have it, you don't decode, right?
Yeah, but it still can be JSON from shitty services, right? So
we don't support that. We don't support shitty services.
How about AWS Lambda?
Exactly, we don't.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So while I was on it, I was also thinking, so this event.headers, this part, okay, with brackets and single quotes in them. Think alternative syntax. You do dot and then the string.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it make sense?
Yeah. There are some languages that do that, like JavaScript.
I don't think.
Yes, they convert it to an object, right?
No, dude, the dashes. The dashes is a problem. Otherwise, the dot headers does that.
That one, that one. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So here the syntax is exactly the same as in JavaScript, and I was thinking, how about dot and then the quotes and the string in the side quotes? Would it make sense?
It would. The problem is the quotes, right? It's like,
yeah. So I'll write here because I can. Okay, so event headers.
Yeah, just
dot
remove that and put dot. Yeah.
Yeah, lambda. Blah 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 blah. How that looks?
It would look weird. Very weird. I understand that you need these things because of the dashes. The question is, why can't we just have it without the quotes? So why can't
because it will be minus, it will be operator.
It will be operator.
The syntax is taken. because these are variables. That would be variable
Yes.
names. Yeah.
Yes, and it will
We are
take it
talking
as a
regular language
minus.
here. It's not bash. Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. And then it will be a minus to another variable.
Yeah.
He will kill himself. Yeah,
Yeah.
I see. Oh shit, yeah. Then quotes would be kind of weird, but
I think
still
that if you
okay.
like reset your mind
Mhm.
and now ask arbitrary person on the street, which is I don't know, beginner programmer and never heard about JavaScript or Python or like any one of this, and you show this to syntaxes,
Yeah.
I think maybe that
I
person
guess
would
it
go
doesn't
for this
hurt.
one.
I guess it doesn't hurt if you still leave the other syntax, because the array syntax is always there, right? So it's fine. You are just
Uh,
adding an extra case for the dot.
yeah, that's why I'm not
It's
sure.
okay, which is okay, You are just having another
Then you
flavor
have
on
two
the dot.
syntaxes for the same thing.
No, it's not two syntaxes. It's one syntax, and the other one is it has to be like that because of the minus, right? Like,
Well, okay, so another long discussion.
yeah.
Okay, so I also mentioned that I was thinking about destructuring and pattern matching, and I see destructuring as like specific case of pattern matching, but it has to match, otherwise it's an exception. Okay, so let's go do some ranting about Python. So because it's like about pattern matching. So now one of the recent versions of Python added pattern matching, and they have syntax for pattern matching, and you can match a pattern, and then you have like named matches, and you can use them in a chunk of code that you have. So while it is like good feature of a language, and it was actually copied from other languages, and they also have it pretty much like that, I would like to maybe highlight the differences in the approach between NGS and other languages regarding the pattern matching. So in NGS, I think that concepts must be composable. And that means that if you have pattern matching, you should be able to use it everywhere, not only when it's one place specific syntax for that. So what do I mean by that? Let's switch to terminal. I'll share my terminal for a moment, and I'll give examples of what in NGS is actually working with patterns as opposed to specific syntax in Python and other languages. Share terminal, I term bash. Okay. So in NGS, you have this basic functional stuff like all. What does all do? All checks if all elements of the array are matching something. So that something in NGS is a pattern. Okay, so for example, int would be a pattern, and guess what? All these numbers on the left are integers, so that matches. So all, the argument to all is a pattern, okay? And you just don't have it in other languages like that, unless I did miss in some language. But typically, in languages, you would get this basic functional stuff, all, any, filter, reject, blah, blah, blah. They would have a predicate in here, predicate a function like this. And so you would have to write something like that, x is int. Okay, that would be the typical language. In NGS, when I added patterns, I thought, okay, which places should work with patterns? And I think it's like anywhere where you have a predicate, there should be a support for a pattern. So for example, a pattern can say that it must be a hash and it must have an entry with a, and that value must be 1. Guess what? It's not a hash and it doesn't have entry a. But if you put here entry a, that would work. So all works with patterns, and many functions in NGS work with patterns, as opposed to very limited implementation in other languages. So that's one kind of aspect of that. Another one is that patterns in NGS are not special syntax. They are just objects. That means that you can actually compose them. Like, okay, my pattern is A1, right? And then I can use it like this. Okay, and it's, guess what, composable. Okay, that also means that I can do, you know what, that was not enough. I had some other condition and now I need to add something to P. Okay, no problem. P will now also require entry B, which is 2. Okay, so now it's false, and B 2. Now it's true. Okay, so I composed the pattern, and you just can't do it in, for example, Python. The downside of this approach, which I have now, is that you don't have right now don't have a way at all to capture sub patterns. And I'll find a solution to that at some point. I'm thinking about this. It's not straightforward, but I think this is the more correct approach because, well, if you have patterns, why not have it everywhere in the language as opposed to one specific syntactic construct? Okay, so another aspect worth mentioning that NGS has implicit pattern matching when you have multi-methods. So for example, we define a function. This function works with int, and for int, int returns 1. And we define another function with the same name, which makes it a multi-method. That means a method which has several implementations depending on the arguments. And here x is a string, and for string it returns s. Okay, and now if you have f of 1, that will be 1, and f of s would be s. No, let's do xs, still s. That's because it's s from here. Okay, so I thought it just worth mentioning that NGS already has kind of built-in pattern matching, and that happens every time you call a multi-method, which is kind of all over. So that's it for my side for today. If you remembered anything else, Ricardo, then you can go.
I'm putting this on the one-liners.
Oh yeah. Which one?
All of them. Screenshot.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess that would be all for today. Whoa, that was a long one. Okay.
This was NGS introduction, one-on-one.
NGS patterns introduction, NGS Lambda. Yeah. I think we should like make on YouTube you can mark which section we were speaking about what, so people can forward if they don't like. Wow, that was a big one. Okay, but you know what? Take that.
See you next time. Yeah.
Yeah. Like and subscribe. Yeah. Because if you don't, like and Borat, yeah. Okay. I'll stop recording. So see you, everyone.